This is the Khoodeelaar television channel being broadcast on the internet, only on the internet, not on satellite, not on terrestrial, not on cable platforms. This is Tuesday, the 9th of September 2025. The brief comment on the congenital liar, Boris Johnson, that is all over the mainstream so-called media in the United Kingdom. The main item is based on a piece published by The Guardian, which actually has taken the contents, the actual substance of the information about Boris Johnson, the congenital liar, from American sources. The American sources are not themselves official American sources. Those are sources that are actually engaged in collecting data from various other sources that contain information about the likes of Boris Johnson doing the corrupt things, bad things, evil things. Johnson is now featured on the Daily Telegraph, The Times, The Independent, in addition to, of course, The Guardian, based on The Guardian's publication of the claims and the information about his abuse of his position as incumbent at the time in the office of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, and the contracts he made at that time. He then monetized, commercialized those contracts and continued to personally profit from those abuses. This is something that is not exceptional or one-off in terms of Boris Johnson's behavior. This is why he is called congenital liar. Boris Johnson is notorious for insulting all the tenets of the faiths, including the faith of Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and other faiths that actually severely prohibit the things that Boris Johnson has indulged in, and he has actually shown contempt for all the faiths and all the faith groups. The more notorious, the more profane his behavior, the more profitable his gains. So today's revelations are typical of Boris Johnson and his character. And this is something that has come in the same week or the same 7 days, that has also witnessed the Daily Mail publishing Nadine Dorries defecting from the Conservatives to the Reform Party. And Nadine Dorries' defection has been followed by calls by Boris Johnson fans, Boris Johnson users, for Boris Johnson and Nigel Farage to be united to oust the Labour Party from office, from power. But then that has been followed by Nigel Farage saying that Boris Johnson is not welcome to the Reform Party. That is the extent of the discredit in which Boris Johnson is now cast. Again, it is the same Boris Johnson who defied his own biological father, Stanley Johnson, when Stanley Johnson called on the cabal that was in place under Boris Johnson's premiership at the depraved DEFRA. The depraved DEFRA was running a campaign of murder of the innocent baby angel Geronimo, the alpaca. And when Boris Johnson prevailed on his biological father, Stanley Johnson suddenly went quiet. So that was a one-off show of compassion by Stanley Johnson, who was complicit by silence as the campaign for murder and cruelty and depravity was continued against the innocent baby angel Geronimo. The disgrace in which Boris Johnson finds himself now is not the first time that he has found himself. He was ousted from office as leader of the Conservatives. He was ousted from office as Prime Minister after being exposed by British members of Parliament as having lied and lied and lied. When the COVID-19 struck the country and people were dying, Boris Johnson was reportedly saying, "Let the bodies pile high." This is the evil personification, a personification of evil, Boris Johnson. So the revelation about his profiting from the contacts he made during his time as Prime Minister, these will not be the only and the last revelations. There will be many, many more revelations about the evil, disgusting things, cruel things, corrupt things, bad things, racist things that Boris Johnson is associated with and has perpetrated.